This is the UK Brand Show with Penny Williams and Mark Challoner.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Hello, Penny.
Hello, Mark. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. Very good indeed. It's a lovely, hot, sunny day.
Well, we're in the middle of the heat wave, aren't we? I wonder how long it'll last.
Yeah. Well, the other thing that is wondering how long it'll last is how long will the unlocking of the society last? Now we're all free and easy to do whatever we want. You're still going to be wearing yours, are you? Very nice.
Well, I got a pack of 4 from M&S and I really like them.
Is that a reason to wear it just because you like it?
Yeah, I think so.
Fair enough.
No, I will continue.
Would you still wear it around town and shops and things, even if you don't have to?
Yeah, no, I think I will in any close environments. Certainly not outside, but
Yeah.
I think for certain, paying for fuel and stuff like that, I will, just to be on the safe side.
It's going to be weird, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But I think if we're all just a little bit careful, we'll, they're heading for herd immunity, aren't they? And I think that is the way to go.
The only thing I would say, if it was me in charge,
run for Prime Minister. I'm sure you'd do a great job.
If I was in charge, I wouldn't just open everything up today. I would say today this, and then 2 weeks time this, 2 weeks time this, and open it gradually. So in maybe 6 weeks time, it's all back to where we were today. But just overnight to go bang right off you go is possibly a bit risky. But we'll see. We'll see. The thing is, I mean, you say, people are careful, and a lot of people will be careful. But there are some idiots out there, and people just don't get it or don't care. But
it's interesting how fast it's spreading before the unlocking of the final restrictions.
Yeah.
So, is it going to accelerate, or has it already achieved what it was going to do?
Yeah, I know.
I mean, there's so many test cases. And it's interesting, isn't it, how they seemed to do a reverse yesterday, that they got such bad publicity for Prime Minister and
oh yeah, well that
Chancellor.
Was stupid, wasn't it? Yeah,
said they weren't going to, they were going to be part of the
only part of a secret experiment.
And then 3 hours later, oh no, we're going to isolate and work on Zoom,
which tells you something, doesn't it? Really, but
it's
Anyway,
I know it's tough times, and I know it's a bit, but they do seem to do this a lot. Anyway, let's not get political.
No. Well, what's going to happen is, as the society unlocks, there'll be more money spent onto things like advertising and marketing and stuff, which we haven't seen perhaps for the past sort of 15 months or so now.
Definitely.
There's been obviously lots of, but not as much of. So I think one of the important things, which is leading me up to what we're going to talk about today, is as we see more and more people coming back to the field, if you like, in terms of spending money on advertising and marketing, what's going to be important is creativity. And it's something which we all forget. I think, in fact, I'm going to share my screen, which will set the scene, if you like. Share, there we go. And can you see me?
I can.
Yeah, good. So I think one of the things about creativity is that it's something which people don't really think too much about sometimes. It's just always there, and they don't really have the understanding of why it's important. So this is what this deck's about, of why I think creativity in advertising, whether you're a big or a small business, is really important. But before we get into this, I just wanted to share one thing with everyone, which I thought was quite interesting. So everything's about digital now, digital. And it's interesting that sometimes people still long for the past in some ways, and a touch of reality. And you could say that about newspapers. So with newspapers, there's still a large element of people are still like the tangibility, the feel of a newspaper in their hand, whereas a lot of people have now gone digital. And it's obviously a concern for the industry of how they monetize the digital side. But however, I was buying 2 tickets online this morning for a gig later this year. And what I thought was quite interesting was that as you got through to the basket to pay for your tickets, which are, it says your phone will be your ticket. So they're going to send me barcodes for my phone. I went to Wimbledon the other week, and there they sent you a ticket to your phone, and it only got activated with a barcode 2 hours before the gates opened. So the idea is you don't try and send them on to touts or whatever, which is a good idea. And it did work, to be fair, so it was good. And similar vein, buying these tickets this morning for a gig, when it said, would you like to buy your ticket and your phone will be your ticket, so they're going to send me a barcode or something to my phone in due course. Underneath that, it said, if you'd like a souvenir ticket of the actual event, so a paper ticket as you used to get them, I think is what the words I used, you can buy one, add it to your basket for £2.95. I thought, how funny is that?
Isn't that clever? Yeah.
Yeah, but isn't it funny that there must be a need, or they must sensing a need for people saying, I want one of these things too. You know,
Yeah.
I miss having a proper souvenir of my trip to the concert.
Yeah.
So anyway, back to the plot. So creativity, yes. So now, you know, Penn, I'm a big Liverpool fan.
Oh.
And this man, Jurgen Klopp, when he arrived at the club, he said he had a winning strategy. And of course, he's won the league and he's won the European Cup on the back of all of this. And he said his attitude, his equation for the future and success is all about an equation, which is talent plus attitude plus potential, seeing the potential in players and getting the right attitude, like a family, and getting the right talent, of course, to begin with, gives a quality performance on the pitch. Well, that's my sort of weak excuse to show this, which I believe is my equation for the future of media, which is all about data and getting data and extracting it and manipulating it and exploiting it for our benefit in the correct way, of course. Plus technology, and there's lots of technology and more emerging technology as we speak coming onto the scene, and we should be using that to our advantage. Plus creativity, that's the important bit for me today, gives in total a better experience. And the more we make a create a better experience for our customers and our advertisers and whoever they may be, the better. So I'll explain what I mean by all of that now. And by the way, I think also it'll all become more mobile as time goes on. Like my tickets today, like my ticket at Wimbledon, it's all going to become more and more mobile based.
Yeah.
Whatever mobile happens to be. But first of all, just taking a step back and we look at the environment we're all living in today. You know, it's a bit like Arnold Schwarzenegger's Terminator. You know, we're living in an era of digitization, automation. Everything's being automated that can be, which takes away manual jobs for some people, one would argue, but everything's being automated, more efficient. Virtualization, robotization, even robots taking over what, not necessarily in the Arnold Schwarzenegger way, but more in terms of creating this better experience and allowing for human brains to concentrate more on things like creativity rather than have to worry about the A's to B's to get to C's. But it's only the beginning. If you look at the landscape of where we live in today, it's quite interesting because, you know, we've got this area in the middle, which is all interfaces. We've got tablets, we've got phones, we've got papers, we've got, you know, all these home entertainment, etc. And around that is becoming this whole complex world of things that are important, relevance, context to you, what's relevant to you, what's about personalization of your advertising, personalized experience. What about insights? What about the design? That's important too. The reputation of a brand, what community you're working in, how they actually serve you as a brand, say, in the community that you're feeling a part of or belong to. There's lots of things now which affect what's important to us. And we're all identified by our IP address, our geolocation. Your phone tells people where you are, for example. We're all reachable 24/7, one could argue. And geography and time is somewhat abolished. And it's certainly true for me because, you know, I do this global webinar every week for my news association, which is truly a global thing. And every week we've got people from New Zealand to Guatemala to God knows where. It doesn't matter where they're from, as far as I'm concerned. It's just my audience for that particular week. So geography and the time.
Community.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, exactly right. Doesn't matter where they're coming from.
No.
And in a world where everything's connected, everything's becoming more intelligent, you know, the Internet of Things, for example, everything's in real time, everything's personalized and everything's cross-platform. And, you know, to be omni-channel is where all marketers need to be today. It's not just about giving people something on one or two platforms. It's being available where your audience wants to communicate with you at the time they want to communicate with you too. That's the success for the future. And as I say, the Internet of Things is changing things, whether it's smart shopping baskets, gaming, buying a pizza with an experience that tells you when your pizza is going to arrive, etc. And who's going to bring it to you. All these things will matter ultimately. And I'll come back to that particular one in a minute. But the truth is, I think we all need a bit of TLC in our lives. But in this particular case, it's all about time, location, and context. And those are the three big things I think for the future, which all brands, big and small, need to focus on. I'm going to give you a good example of this now. I'm going to show you a little video. So one of the major trends is all about location-based advertising, and particularly on mobile. And I'm going to show you this. This is it's a little bit old actually, and it was a bit ahead of its time, but it's still relevant and massively relevant today. So this is a mall in America, and there's a guy who's come in to buy a pair of Nike training shoes, and he's walked into this store, which is a competitor store. There's a Nike store in the mall, and it's a competitor store, which is he's walked into here, which happens to all sorts of things, including Nike trainers. What happened? Watch what happens when he walks in.
Yeah, I'm in the Nike store. There he is. He's getting the message. There's a promotion for Beatback. I think so. Yeah, we got him.
Meatpack is the trendiest shoe store in Guatemala, a brand known for its edgy, cutting style and a store known for its unique discounts in limited edition kicks, including brands like Adidas, Nike, and Reebok. An icon for the sneakerhead subculture, with over 60,000 fans on their fan page in less than a year. They needed to launch a new promotion to live up to their hardcore fans, an innovative way to earn your discount. We created Hijack, an enhancement for the official Meatpack app used by our customers, using GPS tracking technology that marks every competitor's store of the brand sold at Meatpack. So every time one of our sneakerheads enters one of the stores, it triggers a special notice with a promotion. Hijack sends an alert to the person's mobile with a discount that starts at 99% and decreases by 1% every second that goes by, making the countdown stop until you reach our store. More than 600 customers were hijacked from the competitors in a week. One customer, Pedro Rodriguez, got a record-breaking 89% discount. This is the first promo campaign that started the sale in the competitors' stores.
Isn't that just brilliant? Brilliant use of technology, creativity,
yeah,
and obviously using data they've got on that person already who signed up to their, in their case, Meatpack app, and they've targeted him when he's walked into a competitor store. Yeah. It's quite unbelievable. So anyway, I think it's all about this thing called customer experience management, creating a better experience. And what started all of this, I think, is things like Siri. You're starting to get Siri in various places, around now. It is all about the experience. And Siri, for example, is a microcosm of it all. So it's all about, marketing technology being the bridge between customer intelligence, which they get through data, and the customer experience, which, if you get it right, will be increasingly shared by social media, by your ambassadors, if you like, will become ambassadors if they feel they're valued in the parts of the community which you try to create, and they value the experience you're giving them. And for the future, that's going to be such an important thing, creating the value of the experience. So in your, those who've been to marketing college will have learned the 4 Ps of marketing, right? Promotion, place, price, product. That will all shift to the 4 Es. So it'll become, instead of the product, it'll become the experience. It could well include a physical product, but it's more about an experience around it. A price will become an exchange. So good example of that, it would be mobile gaming. So a lot of gaming apps will say they don't charge you anything, but if you give them your data, your information, they'll allow you to go to other levels or get certain other features or whatever it might be. Place becomes everywhere, omni-channel, as we said earlier. And promotion, as I say, if you get it right, you create this evangelism from the people that you're dealing with and your customers who want to promote you well and want to share with their friends and family. So if you look at, what successful companies actually sell, you could say, well, Procter & Gamble, they sell shampoo, don't they? Well, they do, but they don't sell that. They sell this sort of confidence and sexy image that, they don't just say we sell shampoo. At Disney, they entertain, but instead of saying, an entertainment company, really, they sort of say, we're trying to make your dreams come true. They're creating this other world. And Apple, they just make products to make life easy and ones which people will love. They try and get that across in their marketing. It's not about just the physical product. It's about creatively, what can people get? So it's about the emotion and the delight which you can create in the person's mind. And I say it's not just about the brand itself. It's a notion of how you can improve your life maybe, or improve other people's lives. And that may be through things like advice or opinion or guides or information. And here's a good example of this. This was an online ad. See if you can guess what it's promoting. There's no sound to it. It's just video. It's promoting a dental company.
Oh, again. Yeah, I could see the whole sugar thing, but I wasn't sure where it was going.
No, well, that's the thing. It engages you enough to think, oh, what's this? Or some brands I recognize. And at the end, you find it's a dental company. It's like, oh, right, okay, I get that, yeah. So just to use of, rather than just saying we're a dental company, we'll do your fillings, they've just created this story and this information, infotainment, if you like, around it. Yeah.
Well, that's what creativity does.
Absolutely it does, yeah. So we need to sort of take, it sounds a bit worthy this, but customers' hearts and minds, if you like, to a world of belonging and trust in this new experience which they value. Newspapers are finding that they've got to create this environment where people are prepared to pay for something rather than just get it free online. And this is an early example. I personally did this with the Telegraph newspaper, and so virtual reality, augmented reality. We've talked about this lots of times, where you can do lots of things, like the things on the screen. I won't read them all. You can do with augmented reality, and Apple have included now augmented reality as part of the SDK, the Service Developer Kit. So people are developing apps for the iPhone store, the App Store, can build augmented reality in it. So you'll see things like IKEA now on their app. They allow you to take a product from their catalog on the app and put it into your home to see what it might look like in your using augmented reality. So this is just one example of, we did, say, with the Telegraph, whereby it was a print ad, as you can see here, for a watch, Omega watches. And it was a gimmick to some extent, but it allowed us to create a premium on the back of the advertising for the advertiser, who got a much better experience than the customer did too, because you could actually, through the app, it recognizes the ad, and it allows you to try different watches on from the range. The more you shake your phone, the different watch strap, every time you shook it.
So clever.
It gives you a different, to see what type of watch you might like from their range. And it gives you all the features very much close up, and by just scanning the product on the page, you can see the close up of the watch, what it might look like, how it might feel on your wrist. And again, it's all about giving a better experience, and you can create a premium on the back of it. Wearables are the next big thing too, how we actually look at what we wear, and there's going to be all sorts of different things in terms of connected clothing, having Wi-Fi built into your jacket, things like this. And it's going to be another great big marketplace. And I think the way to view this, I saw this, our friend Gert Leonard, do you remember him, the futurist?
Yes, I do.
This is his chart. I've nicked this chart from him, so thank you, Gert. This exactly sums up what I'm trying to say. What he said is this: we are, at the blue bits on the left here, are what we have today and we're used to using: the internet, social media, mobile, the cloud, big data. We're used to using some form. We're used to using data now. Where we're coming to is acceleration mode, he calls it, from foundation to accelerator. And it's things like 3D printing and renewable energy, the Internet of Things, more things connected, robotics, more and more of those. But he said, soon we're now moving into a world of the unknown. It'll come faster than a speeding train. That's the sort of curve he's looking at, which is things like autonomous cities, smart cities, connected cars, the smart grid, so everything's become more efficient and sustainable, energy, internet, lots of different things which just accelerate the whole world to us. And it's one of those things where you don't need to be an expert in all these things, but you just need to keep ahead of the game of what connected healthcare is going there. It's a really good one, isn't it? Everything's changing from a health point of view in terms of how you liaise with your GP practice in the States, because the distances are huge. They work it all through your mobile of consultancy with your doctor and stuff like this now, and they send you prescriptions and stuff like this. And so just to show you what he's talking about, Gert, this is an example of a Google contact lens. So it's actually a smart contact lens. It allows you to build virtual reality and augmented reality into your eye view. So if, for example, I see you coming towards me on the street, I may, depending on what data I have on you, I may be able to say, oh, there's Penny. I didn't remember who you are. Oh, it's Penny Williams. Yeah, I remember her. And it's got your background on and what you like and how's your dog or whatever. How's your dog Skip or whatever. All this information you could do. There's an early version of this being done with the police in New York, that they can see a criminal coming towards them through a sort of Google Glass type of thing. But the Google Smart lens, who'd have thought? And this, talking of healthcare, is a brilliant example. This sounds like science fiction, I think, but it's a true product. You can Google, it's called Pillow. Google it and you'll see it's true, but this is what they do.
In today's hectic world, it's getting increasingly difficult to remember what truly matters: the health of you and your loved ones. But now someone can help. With his artificial intelligence, Pillow recognizes each and every member of your family and starts caring for them.
Clara, here are your cholesterol pills. I see you're running low. Shall I reorder them for you?
Thank you, Pillow. That'd be great.
Pillow is 100% secure, and his skills and functionalities will grow the more you use him, the more he gets to know you.
Here are your vitamins to go. Enjoy your training session, Liza.
Thank you, Pillow.
Since Pillow's always connected, he can answer all of your health-related questions.
Pillow, how many calories are in a celery stick?
6 calories, Clara. Celery is excellent for your health.
Great, I'll have a bunch then.
He's a true healthcare companion, and since he can sync with any wearable and wireless devices, Mark can share his combined health and wellness data through one secure, user-friendly platform where he receives fast and reliable feedback.
Goodbye, doctor. Thank you, Pillow.
So you can see, it's all very smults in American in many ways, but you can see the scope of this technology, what's coming. And smart mobile phones are indeed starting to have some human characteristics. If you think of all the sensors, you've got sight through the camera, you've got hearing through the microphone, you've got touch through the touchscreen. Smell and taste sounds a bit far-fetched, but are they? Because it's not. There's something called haptic technology, and in as close as London, at City Airport, where the City University is. There is something called the Mixed Reality Lab, and they're researching this multisensory web, which includes a smartphone plugin, which transmits in a gimmicky way first. It transmits someone's scent or a kissing machine, so you can actually put your smooch into the phone and it'll be transferred to the person you're trying to send it to at the other end. Now that's a gimmicky bit, but on the commercial bit, they're doing this taste simulation, working with a Michelin-star restaurant called Mogaritz in Spain, and they let diners from home before they go to the restaurant smell what the menu and some items from the menu smell like through the smartphone. There's another one which is Oscar Mayer, which is a US food brand. They done something which enables users to wake up to the sound on their alarm clock, to the sound and smell of sizzling bacon. So it's just quite unbelievable, isn't it? It is science fiction. It's like Minority Report and gone into overdrive.
Yeah.
So anyway, good creativity, therefore, my argument would be, is at the heart of any memorable campaign. And it's all about this chart. It's all about the progression of economic value. So if you've got this chart where up on the up axis, you've got the competitive position of your product. So it's a tin of beans. So if it's undifferentiated, it's just a bog standard tin of beans, then if you go across that line across the chart there, the arrows, then you're not going to be able to charge a premium price, where it's going to be a very small market price, as you can see. Work that one out. But if it's very differentiated, it's very different, it's a special type of bean, 5 different types of beans and a special sauce or whatever, then you've got more chance of becoming a premium product at the other end. Because what happens is, if you mix that with a bit of basic product like a tin of beans, you extract all the commodities to make the basic thing, you make the goods, you make them better to become more premium, and then if you can deliver them as well, you can start to charge for that. So therefore your price and your profitability starts going up. And then you can start to look at how you start to stage experiences for customers. And it doesn't have to be an event or something like that. It's just creating something which makes them endeared to your brand. And that's where I think creativity comes in. And in the same way, this is what Pizza Express do, and they've been doing this for a long time now. I don't know if you've ever seen this, but it's on their app. This is their
you can
pizza tracker. So you can see where your pizza's up to when it's going in the oven. Now they even have the name of the person who's putting it in the oven and who the driver is, etc. And the reason why this is great is because they put contextual editorial around this now. So it keeps you engaged for a really long time, as opposed to just getting a bing bong on your doorstep.
It's just a better consumer experience, isn't it?
Correct. And that's exactly the point. So what's the lesson here? And how do we keep attracting our customers? Well, you've got to distinguish between what's caviar and basically what's peanuts. And people can get peanuts for free online. Yeah. But if you create caviar, people will start to create or believe that what they're being asked to pay for is worth it. And that's exactly where the media industry is today, trying to create more caviar than peanuts. So a lot of websites and a lot of companies are still like this. They don't have enough caviar. What we need to do is create this with some value. It's not just free, they can get anywhere at all. And that relates to whether we're doing apps, websites, or our content, our customer services, how we deal with people, how we work with our advertisers and our clients, what creates value to them. So for many people, the caviar is still traditional, the way they've always done things, but increasingly over time, it has to become more multimedia, more interactive. So people don't want PDFs when you send them like maybe a newspaper anymore. There's a small market for that, but not really. They want an interactive version. They want more things to be more socially led, more content for the environment in which they're reading. Yes, you don't have the same on a newspaper. You don't have the same Daily Telegraph as you have in paper as you do on your phone. It's created for the device. More mobile, more creative for sure, more contextual, more personalized, and more of an experience. And that is exactly where it's all going. And the one thing which holds all of what I've just said together is this. So this just looks like a lot of words, but when you put it together in a certain way, you create a Bloody Mary. And it's the same with data. Data is just bits and bits of words and stuff like that. When you put them together, you make something meaningful. And there's what you should be doing as a company, whether you're big or small, is taking all that first-party data, because the third-party data is going to disappear soon. You've got to rely on your third-party data. It's going to be a cookieless future. So there's lots of things you can do. Every competition entrance online, subscription information, all the analytics you can do on web, newsletters, emails, etc. There's lots of stuff you can get and get people to opt in, which you can use as your first-party data foundation. And then beyond that, you've got all these things in the market out there, just giving a few examples there, where you can start to overlay them into what the inferences are around the data you're collecting. And data is definitely the holy grail of digital media. And as I said earlier, what we all need to do is extract it, manipulate it, and commercialize it. So in all, we all ultimately become our own data banks, probably more like mobile data banks. We're going to expect more personal interactions. We need to establish trust as brands with our customers more. Smartphones are definitely a gateway and even a remote control to this new life. And everybody needs to take mobile and connected devices seriously, but build a creative strategy around mobile and data, with the customer experience being at the center. So that's what that's about. The conclusions, I would say, are we're going to innovate with more multi-platform, more bespoke services, more relevant services to the individual and to the context in which they're taking your content. You've got to make people feel important, and engage them. It's the whole world today is about dialogue. It's not about you just telling someone this is what you should be learning. It's how you create that dialogue, this two-way thing with not a monologue anymore. You've got to collaborate. But news media are finally waking up to this fact. You've got the Daily Mail now selling the advertising for the Daily Telegraph. They're finally working together because it makes sense, because you're selling an audience. So there's lots of efficiency to be gained if you want to see them. Use humor when you can, but don't offend. I'm going to show you some examples of some great stuff in a minute. And create an addiction. People want to come back and want more and more and more of you. And you only do that by exceeding the expectations. And that's through things like passion and creativity and dialogue and inclusion and diversity more and more these days, and impact. Of course, it was Charles Darwin who said the famous quote, "It's not the strongest of the species that survive, it's the ones that are most adaptable to change." And we've all got to change with the environment we're working. So these are some of what I believe are some of the greatest creativity examples I've seen in advertising. This is just an escalator in a mall leading up to the Apple store, which I think is really, really good.
Very clever.
The back seat's no safer, belt up. So making sure, and it's a catapult. That's brilliant, isn't it? A bridge sponsored by Lego in Denmark.
Yeah.
You didn't have to have it there. Let's put the name on that, did he? It's there. A dental company in a bowling alley, which I think is really clever.
Very clever, like
that. This is at the top of the escalator is a gym. So you either become fat by taking the escalator or you walk up the steps.
A bit harsh.
And that's really good. It's a 48-sheet poster.
Yeah.
It's deliberately like that because it's talking about a non-stick surface. This is British Airways on their approach to Heathrow Airport. It's still there to this day, I think, now. This was up for years. So they have the little girl who points at the sky when an airplane takes off, and it tells you what the plane is. And it says, look, it's flight number, blah, 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 from Amsterdam.
Brilliant.
So that's a little cheeky, but I think it's quite funny. So they obviously knew the environment they're working in without offending people. Obviously, selling the product they do, but it's just simple but clever, isn't it? This is a newspaper ad for garden machinery. This in this case is a leaf blower, which is very clever. This one is an ad for garlic mayonnaise. So all the ads are anywhere near it because it's full of garlic. And I got one more to show you. And I was thinking, of all the ones I've seen over the years, what's the best one I've seen? And it's a newspaper ad going back about eight or so years ago. I'm not seeing anything better, certainly from the media world, of something which is very creative. It creates passion, it creates creativity. All the things I've got on the screen, championing, it's inclusive, it's impactful. And it's a campaign called I Am Mumbai. And it's a promotion for the newspaper, the Mumbai Mirror newspaper, which is similar to have like a metro in the morning here in the UK. See what you think of it. Part of it is in English and part of it's in Hindi, but it doesn't matter. Imagine this ad being taken and used by any city in the world for any sort of similar product in any part of the world. But you'll get what I mean. It's quite an emotional thing. See what you think.
They burned my book. They burned my book. They burned my words. But they will never be able to silence my voice. Never. I am Mumbai. I am Mumbai.
जो दूध हमारे घर में आता है उसमें गटर का पानी मिला होता है और वही दूध मुझे मेरे बच्चों को भी पिलाना पड़ता है क्यों मैं पूछती हूँ क्यों पिलाऊं मैं ऐसा दूध मैं हूँ मुंबई हमारा बिस्तर ये टेबल से भी छोटा है हमको हफ्ते में 2 बार ही कुछ खाने को मिलता है और जहाँ हम खाना खाते हैं वहीं पर संडास करना पड़ता है मैं हूँ मुंबई
is my home. ये मेरे बाप का घर है, समझे आप? And I will not have your political posters done in the walls of my home. You got it? And leave me. Hey, no political posters. Can you hear me? I am Mumbai. I am Mumbai.
I am Mumbai. I am Mumbai. I am Mumbai.
I am Mumbai.
I am Mumbai.
Very good. Very
Very
powerful.
good, isn't it?
Very powerful.
Very good indeed. And I don't personally don't think I've seen anything better than that. In all the years I've been looking at media advertising, I think it's just such a powerful ad.
Very, yeah.
And it gets you there, doesn't it? It's quite an emotional
Yeah,
thing.
it really does. Very emotional.
And that's the secret, isn't it, of great advertising.
Absolutely.
It's creative. They've thought something about this, not just put this typical newspaper ad of this is great. We have this section, we do great sport. They've thought about it. And to me, it's great. It's what it should be. Creativity wins every time. And that is all why creativity matters. There you go.
It's the winner. And we don't have time for it sometimes, do we? We just...
we don't think about it. We don't employ people sometimes who can think creatively.
Yeah.
You know, I was inspired. I had for my news webinar, I had Sir John Hegarty, who is the H and BBH, the big creative advertising agency, Bottleboker Hegarty. And Sir John Hegarty lives in London in Highbury, and he came on and he just talked. And you know, you could one of these people just listen to for hours, talking about creativity and why it's great and you know, how we need to embrace it and stuff. And it's just so true, so true. So anyway, there we go. Hope something in that for someone somewhere.
Absolutely. And I suppose I need to do the usual. If you want to listen or watch more of our previous shows, to go to the ukbrandshow.co.uk website or our YouTube channel, or follow us on Facebook and Twitter.
Indeed so. And we'll be back very soon with more of the same. And in fact, one of the things we'll be talking about the next one is all about, I saw something recently which was of another inspiration really, which was about a big media company in the States. And because of COVID, they've moved, as many companies have, it doesn't have to be media, they've moved into virtual events. So because we're not been there because of conferences and some else, and they shared some of the lessons that they've learned about virtual events. And it'll surprise you what they've learned and how that's going to shape their future going forward, COVID or no COVID. So we'll talk about that next time.
Brilliant. Well, I think it's the future. It's been a challenging time and everyone's had to change. So
yeah, they have
more to explore, I think, over the next few months.
Yeah. Well, my association, for example, you know, we normally have a big World Congress every year, and people from all over the world come in, and you know, we're talking about what happens next year. And I think we're going to go for a hybrid event. So the speakers and the board and some other people, advertisers, maybe congregate in New York, say, and we have an event which is partly live, or it's live, but partly populated with real people. But the majority of people will probably still be a bit skeptical about traveling, so they can actually join online if they want. And maybe 2023 might be the time we try and get back to a sort of normality. So despite the fact we've opened up today in the UK, normality is not the word really we can expect for any time soon.
No, it's not. I think we've got some way to go yet.
Yeah. So that's it. So thanks for listening and watching, everyone. And we'll see you all again soon. Bye for now.